Good evening, Mr. Sayinbold. My name is Bada, and basically, I asked you if you could interview with me because this is something that I do. And I do this because, I want to learn about other people's lives and the kind of paths they traveled among in their time and basically learn from it and let the people who are watching the interview learn from it as well. So, can you introduce yourself briefly?
Yep. Hi, hello, Bata, and thank you for having me here in your interview. Is my sound fine?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. So I'm a Sayinbold Saranchemek, and I'm a power system engineer. So currently, I'm pursuing my PhD degree in electrical engineering.
Oh,
So I'm a PhD student at the electrical, computer, and software engineering department at the University of Auckland.
oh, wow.
And and the University of Auckland is, as you know, it's one of the 8 universities in New Zealand, and it is considered as a top university in the country.
Hmm.
And also, it is very well recognized university in the world and ranked one of the top 100 universities.
Yeah.
So so that's about my university, and I'm a bit nervous actually because I've watched from your previous interviews, and I found out the participants are very well educated and very good speakers, So
Hmm.
and also the engineers are shy people, as
Yeah.
my supervisor always says. They
Yeah.
just do whatever they need to do. They don't talk much, etc.
Yeah. It depends on.
So yeah, so uh, so I'm not sure I'm as qualified as other participants for the interview, but I will try my best to answer your questions and give you some idea about the engineering and especially the my field, power system engineering.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you came to New Zealand. When did you come to New Zealand?
Uh, I came here at 2017, so I've been here in the last three
Okay.
and a
Okay.
half years. Yeah.
So how did that come? What was like? How did you come to New Zealand? Was there like a decision you made, or like a application, or how did you come here?
Yeah. So it's quite a long story from after I finished my high school and came here to study my PhD. So um, so let's start from the beginning, and I will eventually go to the
Yeah.
my PhD study. So first, I was in a high school. I was like one of the typical student in Mongolia, So I studied in most of my school years in a public school, and then in my last year of the high school, I studied in a private school in Mongolia. And then I admitted to the National University of Mongolia and studied renewable energy there.
Yeah.
And it's renewable energy is quite broad area. So it includes solar energy, wind energy, hydropower, geothermal, and biomass, etc. It's quite broad area. And after my undergraduate degree, I started working on the Institute of Physics and Technology, Mongolian Academy of Science.
Yeah.
It's a scientific research institute, which we don't have here in New Zealand, but in some countries, this specific research institutes structure is there. So and during that time, I did my master. And after my master's, I decided to study a PhD degree in a developed country, and I started applying for the scholarships. And then one of the scholarship was New Zealand Aid Scholarship. And 2016, I was awarded New Zealand Aid Scholarship, and came here to study my degree.
Ah, that's big. It's very big.
Thank you.
So was there any, so right now you're doing your PhD, right? What are the challenges you're facing right now? Like what's difficult right now?
Yeah, that's very good question, to be honest. Because when we are thinking about studying abroad, we imagine all the positive sides first.
Yeah.
Nice university, nice people, nice environment, and etc. And we forgot about the negative sides. So it was quite tough, to be honest, for
Yeah.
me, and I faced several challenges. So okay, let me put it in that way. So academically, I was in a totally different environment. And in terms of facility and also the ongoing research projects, and also the totally new team was there to work with.
Yeah.
And the new skills and new softwares to learn and those kind of things. And also another thing was English, because it is my first time into a totally English speaking environment for a long time. So I remember that I had stressed quite a long time to overcome these challenges, and I worked hard to cope with it.
Yeah.
Yes. So and also in terms of the personal adjustment to the new country, it was quite challenging as well, since I came here with my family, my wife and two daughters. So yeah, New Zealand was very different culture from our home country. So we are away from our families and relatives and friends. So also the one thing is it's very expensive country.
Yeah.
So finance was a big problem in the beginning, and even now it is it is big, but it was more serious in the beginning, I mean to say.
Yeah.
So yeah, and but on the other hand, the food, the weather, and was not a big issue, and the New Zealand people are very friendly.
Yeah.
So the nature is nice. So yeah, that's the other sides.
So you said you're studying power system engineering, right? That's like what your PhD is on?
Right. Yes.
So like could you explain a little bit more? Like what is it
Yes.
that you're studying basically?
Yeah, sure. So yeah, power system engineering is one of the branches of the electrical engineering. So I quote again my supervisor's words. So he always says it's very young engineering field, so because it's got a little more than 100 years of history since the first high voltage lines built.
Yeah.
So, but as we all know, the other engineering fields are quite old, like civil engineering and mechanical or chemical engineering.
Yeah.
It starts with the history of humanity, right?
Yeah, buildings were a long time ago.
Right. Yes, but however, young engineering field, we cannot imagine current world without electricity now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also during this pandemic period, it's also proved that electricity is one of the very essential infrastructure to keep society run. Yeah, and yeah, so most businesses are working from home, and internet and technology is helping making these things possible, like distant learning, distant working, and these things.
Yeah.
So, but behind them, electricity is always there. We need to think about that.
So it's very important.
Yeah, so, right. So, yes, simply the power system engineering involves the generation and transmission and distribution of the electricity.
Oh, okay.
So generation, yeah. So generation is it starts with the generation. So it can be a coal-fired power plant, nuclear power plant, hydropower plant, geothermal, solar, and wind power plants. So I mentioned almost all of the power plants. So my background is renewable, so I like to mention these renewable plants all the time.
Yeah, like the solar ones, the hydro, the wind ones. Yeah.
Definitely, yeah. So you've got it. Yeah, that's the renewable sources. So after the generation, there is a transmission. So transmission is the high voltage lines. So if you go out of Auckland, like to Hamilton or to Wellington, you will find these tall high voltage electrical lines along the way.
Yeah.
You know? Yes, so those lines are transferring like a bulk amount of electricity from these power plants to your houses, to load centers. So yeah, and the last stage is at distribution level, which is the stage between the high voltage lines and the power sockets in your house.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. So that's the power system, what involved within the power system. And then there are so many different kind of studies and analysis there, which focuses on the power system. And then the power system engineers do those calculations.
Yeah.
It's mostly about calculations, estimations, simulations, and etc.
Yeah. So
yeah. So
you're basically studying how we get electricity, basically. How like the public, or how everything gets electricity.
right. So that's the main topic.
Yeah.
But these days, because of rapid expansion of renewable energy, houses have their own solar panel and they connect it to the grid and selling this power. Every house can be seller,
Yeah.
And also the electric vehicles are increasing. Electric vehicle is huge load. So because of these things, the power system is getting more complex and more comprehensive.
Yeah.
So and at the same time, it's getting more smart and also it's getting more interesting to work in. So my special topic is focused on the large-scale solar power plant on the power system. So it's got some negative impacts on the power system. So I am focusing to have to reduce those impacts.
Yeah.
So
because,
usually,
because I think I realized that like, yes, like there's a lot of houses with their solar panels and like stuff like that, but I haven't really seen a massive scale solar, what do you call it?
Power plant.
Power plant. Yeah. I've never really seen one like that.
So yes, because we don't have it yet here in New Zealand.
Yeah.
Yes, so but one large-scale PV plant will be built in 2022 in the North Island.
Okay, that's good.
Yes, so there is a specific reason why New Zealand doesn't like solar much, because New Zealand has a huge hydropower potential.
Yeah.
So so they don't care about solar.
Yeah.
But it's
they have a lot of oceans, a lot of water moving around.
Yes, especially the high mountains and rivers.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. So simply, my PhD is focused on solar plant caused voltage problems, imbalance, and its management for non-electrical engineers. That's my focus.
Yeah, I see. Yeah. So you're an engineer. What is it about engineering or like science, like that, like really like draws you in? Why did you choose to be like an engineer?
Yes. I don't know. It's because when I was a young student, I really liked math and physics.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed technology as well.
Yeah.
So I never been into the other fields, and I always was thinking to be a engineer, like maybe IT engineer, software engineer I interested in, and then finally ended up renewable energy. Maybe it's because of physics that, yeah, I really
Yeah, because
like.
I'm probably gonna do an engineering degree next year because I'm a last year high school student right now, and
Right.
I'm doing an engineering. I'm gonna apply for an engineering degree next year for at Auckland, University of Auckland. So that's that in common next year.
Wow.
Um,
That sounds nice.
yeah,
I always encourage people to study engineering.
yeah.
So,
Like so how I basically came to choose engineering was because I think it's very similar to yours. Ever since I was a kid, I can't say I really liked maths because it was just like a part. It was just like a part of my life, you know. I went to
right.
a math-oriented school from like my first year to fifth year, and I came to New Zealand in like my sixth grade. And then because did so much maths from 1 to 6, that I was really good at it.
Yeah,
And because I was
right.
really good at it, I just kept doing it. And so basically, I've just been doing maths for the last 12 years. And I don't know if I like it, but I know I don't hate it or anything like that. But, I'm pretty okay at it. Like I did spend the last 12 years doing it. And I feel like it'd be a waste not to do engineering. You know what I mean? Because I do know, like,
Right, right.
I know why you should be good at maths because it helps you with problem solving ability and like gives you all that stuff. But
Yes.
yeah. So I was just asking you, like, why is it that you choose engineering? Because it seems like, because right now I don't really know why I choose engineering.
Yes. Yeah, that happens. That happens. But what you need to do is you should search about the different engineering disciplines and how they are doing, exactly they are doing. So if I tell someone like I'm doing my PhD in electrical engineering, and then people thinks like, is he fixing TVs or changing lamps and etc.
Yeah.
The electrical engineering like comes into someone's mind, and they think it's like
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
those kind of things there. So,
Yeah, I
but it's
didn't know
not actually.
power system engineering was electricity, like under electricity.
Right.
Because right now I'm doing an electricity paper for my school, and so I'm like thinking
Cool.
light bulbs and like amps and like stuff like that, circuits and stuff. And then you were like power systems. I'm like, wait a second, is that electrical engineering? And so I guess you're right.
Exactly. So yeah, we starts with it starts with the things what you are talking,
Yeah.
like circuits and everything. Yeah.
Hmm.
So it's electrical engineering discipline. So and maybe in your final year in electrical engineering major, you will pursue different paths,
Ah, yeah.
like like power electronics, power systems, control, telecommunication, and robot, and
Yeah.
etc. So
Yeah, I thought that's what like the last one was. So I thought like if you're pursuing electrical engineering, you go like light bulbs and like maybe TVs, and then you go to robots. I thought it was just like a one-way, you know, road.
yeah.
Like, I'm guessing there's a lot of different paths you can go when you pick like a field of study, I guess.
Yes, yes. So I don't want to um, insist you to study electrical engineering, but electrical engineering is awesome. Yeah, it's got it's huge possibilities, different uh, kind of paths you can do
Mm.
as an electrical engineer. Yeah,
Mm.
that's cool.
Yeah, definitely. Because I still
Yeah.
don't. I know I want to do engineering, but I don't know like what type of engineering. Like there's civil, there's electrical, there's chemical, there's
Definitely.
biomechanical. Like yeah, there's a lot of
And
other.
IT, computer science, computer engineering. Yes,
So I still don't know
yes,
what I want to do yet.
right. It's different. It's on your own choice, but yeah, it's better if you search and spend some time what exactly those engineering field people doing,
Yeah,
rather than just hearing some cool things about few cool things about one engineering discipline.
hmm.
Yeah.
Actually do research.
You can also attend those open days.
Yeah. I'll be going to this. Yeah.
Exactly. So our department have some open days, and the high school students can come and ask and talk about their possible disciplines. Yeah.
And one of our questions was to ask you like advice for people who want to study in New Zealand, and I think what you were saying was actually really good, is to actually do research on if it's good or not, because
Right.
yeah, because a lot of people don't know what they're actually doing. You know what I mean? They have these like some pieces of information they know, and they're like, okay, that seems pretty cool, and maybe they hear something bad about one thing, and they're like, oh, that whole thing's bad. But if you're actually doing research, you can see like the whole thing, and it's probably pretty amazing.
Definitely. Yes, I agree. And also another thing is, if you are interested in chemical engineering, just go and talk to chemical engineer.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly, if you can find someone, that's the good experience, I think, because I never did that when I finished my high school. Yeah, so, but now I'm thinking like, if you are interested in civil engineering, just go and talk to the civil engineer, and you will have some idea.
I see. Yeah, and this is basically why we're doing these interviews.
Yeah, definitely.
So if there's someone who's watching this interview who's like, I want to get into electrical engineering, now they know like how many things there are, and if they really want to do power system engineering, they really know what they're doing. You know what I mean?
Cool. Yeah. Yes, exactly. Then even power system engineering has different fields, because currently the knowledge is huge, especially on these technologies and these engineering disciplines. So in electrical engineering, one of the branches, power system engineering. Then power system engineering has a different branch itself.
Yeah.
So yeah, then this expertise will get narrowed down to the very specific topic.
Yeah.
Yes.
More and more, what do you call it? Specific, basically. Yeah.
Definitely.
I think that's our time for today. Thank you so much for having this interview. It was actually, I learned a lot, and I think you were wrong about like being too not good enough at speaking English. I think that was completely fine. You did very well, I think.
Okay.
I understood everything you said,
Yeah.
and I think that's just about everything you need in an interview.
Thank you, Bata, for having me in your interview.
Yeah.
So I've seen your recent activities, and I think it's very good to try different things and challenge yourself from such a young age. I think it's very good. So keep going, and I wish you all the best for your future.
Yeah.
And also good luck on your university applications.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Thank
you. Have a good night. Bye.
Have a good night. Thank you.